Hello, I'm back. So I know to you, I'm still on Facebook, so it doesn't really feel like I was anywhere. But if you didn't know, I was away in New York this past week and I got back yesterday. And now I am sat in my car. As you can see, there's a beautiful blue sky. My hands are a bit wobbly, but if I put it here, I have this ridiculous sun. It's kind of nice, but probably a little bit distracting. Not that you really need to look and study my face in order to hear what I'm about to say, but I have had the most interesting time while I've been away. And I wanted to share some of the ahas. I mean, I have loads to share, but I'm going to try and share it relevant bit by relevant bit with you. And today, the thing that I was realizing was I was asked some really good questions while I was away. I was lucky to go and hear Marianne Williamson speaking. She does this in a church in the middle of Manhattan every single Tuesday. And I was lucky enough to catch her doing her talk on Tuesday. I need to move that. It's just too much, but I don't want to be wobbling all over the place. Let me know if it's making you feel seasick, because for some reason my hands are a bit shaky. It must be the jet lag. And one of the things she said was about asking questions of the people around you, like the people you're connected to. I can't keep my phone still. I don't know why. The people who are around you, ask them questions. And she was saying people love being asked questions. You know, like if you're starting out in a journey of some kind, ask the people who have been on that journey, who are further along. They only need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of you for them to have really relevant information in answering the questions that you have. And one of the girls who I met, Carmel, who I will share this with, asked me after that, and I didn't kind of clock what she was doing until I was on the plane coming home. And she asked me, what has had the biggest impact on me, on my business, while I've been on my entrepreneurial journey? I don't know why I did air quotes then, because I am on an entrepreneurial journey. It's not an imaginary thing. And it's such a good question. I was really thinking about it. And I realized that what happens for me is that when something has a big impact, it tends to make me want to share that impact with others in my own way. And so I think that's what we all do. I presume that's what we all do. But something amazing happens to us. If you're here, by the way, live, because Facebook's jumping all over the place. If you're here live, say hi, so I know that you're here, firstly. If you're watching the replay, still say hi, so I know you are here. I don't even know if I can see comments right now. I'm out and about, so I can't. Usually I'll be checking on my computer that firstly you can hear me, and secondly that I can see if there are any comments, and I can't do either of those things right now. I've just had to go to an emergency dental appointment. I've broken 2 teeth. Ouch. And now I have to have some big scary appointments. I realize the fact that I'm saying they're scary makes me feel scared of them, but I am scared. And I'm just facing it. I'm just embracing it. Oh, swipe left to see your viewers. Cool. Video only mode. Oh, that doesn't work. Swipe left. Oh, swipe left. Oh, okay, cool. I can see there are people here. Hi, Lisa. I can see that you're here. So in answering that question, like what has had the biggest impact on me on my entrepreneurial journey, I've got to say that those have been different things at different stages. But all of them ultimately come down to the same thing, which is investing. Hi, Teresa. Hello. How are you? All of them come back to the same root thing, which is investing in myself and doing the work and the implementation. So unless I'm doing those things, I know it's so unfortunate. Unless I'm doing those things, I'm not growing, or I'm staying stuck somewhere, like I'm not expanding. And so my trip that I'm literally fresh off the plane from, was a huge expansive journey. And I say expansive, not expensive, in so many more ways than I ever realized. And that's something important as well, is that all the things I've ever invested in for my business or to grow my entrepreneurial self have been impactful, and the impact has been directly correlated to the amount of discomfort I've had making the investment, which was a really interesting observation. Probably not a surprise, because obviously when you invest, you're looking for a return on that investment, not necessarily monetary, but in some kind of, you want some kind of growth out of that investment. And so I was thinking back on the big scary investments I've made, and now it's funny that none of those feel scary, but I guess it's all relative at the point in your journey. So the advice I had for her, and it's not really about me giving advice. I'm not sure I even believe in giving advice unless you're giving it in a kind of, you know, prescriptive way, you know, like a right, wrong answer. So here's the other thing, it's about facts. So if you're giving advice, you have to give facts. Otherwise, you're giving an opinion. So if you're giving advice, unless you're like a doctor or a lawyer and you have actual facts and evidence, then you can't really give advice in a real, this is advice way. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so the answer for me was all about connection, and everything for me has been about the conversations I've had with other people. And I'm really fortunate in that I have an amazing group of successful women around me. And those women, something that Marianne Williams said when I heard her speak on Tuesday was about rising to the occasion. And I put myself frequently in a situation where I have to rise to the occasion. Something that I think, oh God, I got to do this thing. Oh God, I'm going to speak on this stage. Oh God, I'm going to put this product out there or start this campaign or whatever it is I'm going to do. Sorry that it's shaking. I need my sticky thing. I constantly put myself in those, what I call scary, uncomfortable situations. And I really do believe that unless it's uncomfortable in some way, it's probably not going to grow you. So there is, for sure, an element of just being able to step into discomfort and embrace the discomfort rather than try to cure it. And that was my thing. For a long time, I didn't like being uncomfortable. And every time I felt uncomfortable, I felt like, oh my God, I've got to fix something. Sorry, I'm wobbling all over the place. And that's not me anymore. Now I look for the ways to step into the discomfort and for ways to keep myself slightly uncomfortable. Like, that sounds a bit crazy that I try to make myself uncomfortable, but I know that that's where the leaps are. You know, I know that when I'm sitting in a place where I feel like, ooh, a little bit out of my depth, I have to learn to swim. And as Marianne Williamson said on Tuesday, I have to rise to the occasion. And that really struck a chord with me. And then when she said about asking better questions, you know, people like being asked questions is one of the things she said. And that was so interesting because I was like, I have amazing people around me and I have conversation with them all the time, but I don't tend to ask them questions. I tend to tell them things, like tell them situations that are going on and how I'm feeling, but I'm not necessarily asking them for their experiences or their suggestions. And that's something I want to change. So I'm going to be experimenting with that. Being asked the question about, you know, what has had the biggest impact on me? The answer to that is without doubt, connection, investments that I've committed to. And that's the important part. It's not just about spending money and making investments. And it's not just about money either. It's about time, it's about energy, and it's about committing and investing in a way that you are going to implement and take action. So Teresa says, I loved hearing her speak. She said we should be rising to the occasion in running for office. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Did you listen to the live stream from Tuesday, Teresa? Because I think she said that on Tuesday as well. So she does this live stream. Hi, Emily. She does this live stream every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time to her page. And so, yes, it does. She does it every Tuesday to her page. And then basically anybody who's nearby can come along to the church and hear her in person. I was in the third row. I was like right up front. I thought it was going to be packed. And it really wasn't. But it was very inspirational. And also watching her, you know, just stand on stage and deliver her message. Like she didn't have notes. She wasn't reading from a teleprompter. She didn't seem rehearsed because she was just in flow, man. It was like something was coming through her, like she was channeling. It was pure and it was powerful. And I loved it. But so many things she said really struck a chord with me. And I have a notebook of them. Oh, cool. Oh, nice. That sounds sweet. So yeah, that was important, but it really did it reaffirmed a lot of the things that we did this weekend. So I was with Laura Holmes Franklin last weekend at her Starship retreat, and a lot of the message that came through from that was about how to make good decisions, which is really interesting because I have just spent, I can't remember if I've shared this or not, but I've spent the last 3 weeks writing a new freebie that I want to be able to give and share it with you, that helps you to make really big decisions in your business. How to kind of check. I'm always talking about temperature checking and just checking in on how to make good decisions. And so I'm creating a tool that will help you to make good decisions. And so that's been a big theme. And then this morning I was listening to Amy Porterfield's podcast, and she was talking about making decisions. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. There are no coincidences, right? And so the biggest thing for me has been to build the trust in knowing that everything is always working out for me. That has been huge. And to really believe that. And there have been so many times while I was away that that was the case, and the evidence was provided to me to support that. And also in being open to opportunities, like, you know, to say yes to things. Like if somebody asks me to speak on a stage, the first thing I want to say is, oh no, it feels gross and scary. But I'll say yes, you know, if it's a fit. I won't just say yes for the sake of it, but I won't say no just because it's scary. And I put myself constantly in those situations, not just in my business, but all the time, so that I'm expanding and growing as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as a wife, as a human being on this planet. And that feels really important. The other thing, I'm just trying to remember, what was the other thing that I was going to say, was about trusting, building the trust. Oh, and building this network. So building this network, for me, that has been other women entrepreneurs who are at a similar stage in their journey, ideally a couple of steps ahead of me. And so I realize why that's relevant is because in the formation of my Ascension Mastermind, I'm doing the same thing for other people. I'm facilitating that connection for other people. And obviously I knew that the Ascension Mastermind was like phenomenal, and it was going to be fantastic because the first two ladies who signed up, one of whom's here, are phenomenal women who are doing incredible things. And I feel so honored that they want to spend that time with me and the people I will bring together. And it just feels like, again, not coincidental that this message has been raised to remind me of the importance of my job in bringing that group together. So the Ascension Mastermind is application only, and I had set the amount of people I wanted to have in it. And what I'm doing now is, instead of setting it that I want to fill the mastermind, I'm setting it that I want to bring together the right people to have the best experience. So I'm letting go of the idea of filling the mastermind, and I'm opening myself to the idea of the perfect sized group. So that will mean having awkward conversations where I have to say no to people because it's not right at this time when I do the interviews next week. So that's an interesting thing to think about too. There are so many, like I say, there are so many things, and this could go on and on and on and lead on to other things. But that was the relevance for me. I really appreciated Carmel asking me, you know, what were the things that had impacted. Without a doubt, it's the connection of others. I sent an email out to my list the other day talking about that, about the secret, you know, like, what is the secret to success? What is it that all these other successful entrepreneurs have that we don't, or that you don't? And I was able to share in that I know for a fact, because I have lots of them as friends, that it's the network and the other support around you that is the biggest, most impactful thing. And that is, again, not coincidental with the fact that I am currently inviting people to apply for the Ascension Mastermind. So yeah, that's that. So if you want more information on that, you can message me. Feel free to message me about it. I am setting up interviews for next week, and you can fill out the application. Yeah, and here's the thing about the application. So here's the other thing, is that if you are listening to this thinking, I don't even know what to do that feels kind of, you know, like a push or a stretch, or where do you start? What's the first step? I would put yourself in a situation whereby you do something like filling out an application for something that feels just slightly uncomfortable. And for many people, the Ascension Mastermind is uncomfortable. I mean, I've had conversations with people who say, I really want to do it, but it's not the right time. And I've said to all those people, application, not because, I mean, the application doesn't mean anything. It's not an obligation, but it's a process, and it's a step that you can take to mentally move your mind into that position and consider yourself as being one of those women. And when you do that, you just broaden yourself a little bit. And it doesn't mean anything. You don't even have to, you know, if you're invited to an interview, you can say, actually, no, I'm good, thanks. But just doing it, expanding yourself in that way, is going to be a positive thing. So I had to share that. And I've so many things. I just wish I could share all the things with you right now. But I don't want to. I want to keep these short and sweet. So expect this daily from me. I'm going to have lots of insights to share. I may go live again today because I've got some, obviously I'm fresh back and some of the things are really relevant like right now. But yeah, so that's that. So it's about the connection, it's about making the scary steps, and it's about feeling supported along the way, you know, knowing that everything is always working out for you, knowing that you have a network of like-minded people around you who are going to catch you when you fall and chuck you back up in the air cheerleader style, and you having the confidence to take those steps and move forward without the fear of failure. That's all there is. So that's all we need. If we have that, we can make anything happen. I truly believe that. I mean, at the top of the Empire State Building the other night, my goodness, which was really weird. It really felt yesterday like I was at the top of the Empire State Building 1 minute, and then the next minute I was in the car going down the country roads here in the Isle of Wight to pick the kids up from school. But when I was at the top of the Empire State Building and I'm looking out there how high up we are and reminding myself that that was built by hand. There was no clever machinery back in the 1930s when this was built, actually late 1920s when it was built. And these men were just using ropes and human bodies to construct this monster of a tower. Yeah, mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. So we can achieve great things, all of us. Question yourself, you know, who have you got around you that you could ask a question of today? What question could you go and ask somebody today that would help you take a next step that you might not even see yet? So go and do that. And I would love you to report back and let me know how you get on. So in the meantime, I will post the link to the application. If you would like to apply for the Ascension Mastermind, I will post the link here, and you'll be able to see all the details, and then you'll be able to click the button for the application. I'd love to see your name in my inbox with that application if it feels like a good fit for you. Even if it feels like, ooh, I'm not ready yet, just do it. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. But having that conversation, I've seen the impact of several women already who've just had the conversation. They see themselves having the conversation, and it's like a rise, you know, automatically it's a rise. So do something small, and if that's going to help you upgrade, I'm totally open to you using that as your way of doing that. So I am going to go. I'm going to go get myself home, and it's Friday. So happy Friday all, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye for now.